There was a photo. It was hanging on the wall. It was not hidden in Jeffrey Epstein's house, a photo of Mohammed bin Salman. So why was that photo there? Was it a memory, or was it a message? One man, one island, and millions of documents left behind the cameras did not work. Witnesses went silent, names were hidden, but the truth after a point did not stay buried where it was placed, at the center of this darkness. Are these questions: was Epstein connected to a satanic and dangerous organization that worshipped the Baal idol? Celebrities, politicians, business leaders, and all the claims made about Trump are in this video. But what is even more frightening is this: there were claims that human flesh was eaten. Some people who spoke about these claims disappeared quietly, without leaving a trace. You are watching True Islamic Narrative. With your support, we can bring this truth to more people. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. If you are ready, let's begin. In the summer of 2019, a man died in a high-security prison cell in New York. His name was Jeffrey Epstein. The world was told it was suicide, but the world knows better. Cameras failed, guards slept, and with him, 1,000 secrets were meant to be buried. But for the Ummah, one secret was more shocking than any other. On an island in the Caribbean, a place of unspeakable crimes, investigators found something that should never have been there. A piece of the Kiswa, the sacred cover of the holy Kaaba. Why would a man like Epstein possess the most sacred fabric of Islam? Was this just a collection of art, or was it something darker? Today, we look at the hidden war against our faith, the strange photos of young princes, and the ancient idols being worshipped in the heart of the West. Let us look closer at that photo. The forensic analysis mentioned in the investigation files reveals that it was taken around 2003 or 2004. At that time, Mohammed bin Salman was not the powerful figure we see today. He was a young man, barely 20 years old. Why would a billionaire with connections to the highest levels of Western intelligence frame a photo of a minor prince and hang it in a place of honor? The original footage suggests that Epstein wasn't just collecting friends, he was collecting futures. In the world of intelligence, this is known as spotting. You find the young, ambitious members of a royal family, you bring them into your circle, and you build a debt that can never be repaid. The photo shows a relaxed MBS smiling next to a man who was already known in elite circles for his dark habits. This was not a chance meeting. It was the beginning of a bridge between the secret societies of the West and the heart of the Islamic world. If Epstein was a gatekeeper for the Western elite, was he the one who opened the door for a new kind of leadership in Saudi Arabia? But the most chilling evidence comes from the digital trail left behind. In February and March of 2017, the same year MBS was suddenly elevated to Crown Prince, messages were exchanged between Epstein and a businesswoman named Aziza Al-Ahmadi. These were not just messages, they were invoices for the sale of the sacred. The records show that 3 separate pieces of the Kaaba's cover, the Kiswa, were shipped by air from Saudi Arabia to the United States. The price? $10,980. But the price in money is nothing compared to the price in spirit. One message contained a sentence that should make every Muslim's blood run cold. At least 10 million Muslims touched this black piece. Why would they mention how many believers had touched it? Because in the dark rituals of the occult, the value of an object is measured by its sanctity. To them, the more a thing is loved by the believers, the more power it has when it is defiled. They bought the sweat and the prayers of 10 million pilgrims just to use it as a carpet for their sins on a private island. This was a calculated attack on the barakah of the Ummah. Now, let us travel to the island itself, Little St. James. The original investigation by the FBI discovered something the media rarely talks about. On the walls of that mysterious blue and white temple, there were symbols that date back to ancient Babylon and Sumer. Specifically, the bull-headed figure of Baal. In the Quran, we know that the prophets were sent to destroy these very idols. Baal represents the sacrifice of the innocent for the gain of the powerful. Witnesses who escaped the island describe rituals that were not just perverted, but religious in nature. They speak of black robes, strange chants in languages they didn't understand, and the use of the Kiswa in ceremonies meant to reverse the power of Islam. They were practicing a form of modern Jahiliyya. While the world thinks these billionaires are men of science and technology, their private lives are governed by the same ancient demons that the Sahaba fought to erase from the earth. They seek to build a world where the laws of Allah are replaced by the laws of the ego, and the temple on that island was the laboratory for this transformation. The 50-minute file also highlights a strange coincidence. In November 2017, shortly after the Kiswa transaction, hundreds of princes and businessmen were locked inside the Ritz-Carlton in Riyadh. It was called a corruption crackdown, but looking through the lens of the Epstein files, we must ask, was this a move to clear the path for a new order? Epstein lived by one rule: control through information. He recorded everything. Every guest, every sin, every conversation was a weapon. It is reported that he had over 2,000 videos and 3 million documents. When he died in that cell, the cameras failed and the guards slept. But the information did not disappear. It moved into the hands of those who now use it to keep world leaders on a leash. As we see the Vision 2030 unfold, as we see the desert filled with music festivals and statues, we are seeing the fruits of a seed planted decades ago in New York and the Caribbean. This is the silent war. They don't need to invade our lands with soldiers if they can control the hearts of those who lead us. They use our sacred symbols to mock us and their secret files to move us like chess pieces. But they forget the final chapter. They can delete the camera footage and they can bury the witnesses, but they cannot hide from the Maliki Yom ad-Din, the master of the day of judgment. The secrets of the island will be laid bare, and the Kiswa they defiled will testify against them. Stay awake, O Ummah of Muhammad. The signs are all around you.